The return to art, Jamie and Amelia's creative renaissance. Inside the Quiet Season, the film that redefines the Dornan-Warner partnership. By Lena Hartfield, April 2027. A new chapter begins on the Irish coast. When the first frame of the Quiet Season appeared at the Berlinale press screening this February, the room fell still. A grey horizon, a man walking alone along a cliff path, wind rising in the microphone, and then a piano note, soft, uncertain, unmistakably Amelia Warner's. It was the debut of Jamie Dornan as director and of Amelia as the sole composer on her husband's film, the couple's first creative collaboration after years of deliberately avoiding the spotlight. Their joint work, a meditative drama about grief, forgiveness, and belonging, has become one of the year's most discussed independent films. It isn't just about silence, Dornan said during our interview in Dublin. It's about what grows inside it. From domestic calm to creative risk. Only a year earlier, the Dornan-Warner family were still settling into their self-imposed quiet life in County Down. After Amelia's 2025 essay pleading for privacy and Jamie's measured public response, the pair withdrew almost completely from public events. Friends assumed they were done with the industry's noise. But by late 2026, the calm had started to evolve into something else. When you live in peace long enough, Amelia said, you begin to create from it. The idea for the Quiet Season came during one of Jamie's morning runs along the coastline. He'd been journaling for months, short fragments about solitude and renewal, when he realized he was writing a screenplay. It wasn't planned, he recalled. It felt like the story had been waiting in me all along. He showed the first draft to Amelia. She read it in silence, then said, "You've finally written about stillness instead of running from it." The story they wanted to tell. Set in rural Northern Ireland, The Quiet Season follows a widowed boat builder who takes in his estranged teenage son after years apart. The plot is simple, the emotion, layered. It's about reconciliation, Jamie explained. But not the cinematic kind. The quiet kind that happens when no one's watching. He wanted the landscape to be another character, harsh, forgiving, beautiful, like the people. The production was small, a local crew, mostly Irish cast, shot in natural light. Amelia's score mirrors that restraint. Her compositions are spare, built on piano, cello, and field recordings of wind and sea. Jamie asked for music that breathed, she said. So I used pauses as instruments. The two worked from opposite ends of their cottage, he in a shed-turned-editing room, she in a small studio overlooking the garden. We'd meet for lunch, trade notes, then retreat again, Jamie laughed. It was the healthiest kind of distance. Learning to work together, and apart. Both admit they were wary of collaborating. We'd seen couples destroyed by mixing marriage and art, Amelia said. But we also knew we'd grown strong enough to risk it. Their creative conversations, they say, were surprisingly calm, mostly. There was one evening, Jamie recalled, when I thought I'd ruined her cue by cutting a scene. She didn't shout, she just played me a new piece that made the cut work. I realized then that this is what trust sounds like. Amelia smiled at the memory. It was easier than we feared. Because the film wasn't about ego, it was about honesty. We were already living that every day. A marriage tested, strengthened, recorded. Observers note how The Quiet Season feels like an echo of their own story. The search for quiet after turbulence, the resilience of ordinary love. Jamie doesn't deny the parallel. You can't make art and keep yourself completely out of it, he said. But it's not a diary, it's a translation. Amelia agrees. The film isn't about us, but it carries our fingerprints. The rhythm of family life, the sound of the house breathing, all of that slipped in. The crew noticed the intimacy, too. Cinematographer Fiona McKenna recalled, they communicated almost wordlessly. A nod, a smile, a small correction. It was like watching music and image speak to each other. Reception and restraint. The Quiet Season premiered quietly, no red carpet theatrics, just a modest screening in AQA, yet within hours it became the talk of the festival. Critics called it a film of rare emotional patience. The New York Times praised its haunting moral clarity. Asked about the attention, Jamie shrugged. It's ironic, isn't it? We made something about peace, and suddenly everyone wants to talk about it. They declined most interviews, choosing only a handful of long-form conversations, including this one, to contextualize the work rather than promote it. It's not a product, Amelia said. It's a conversation we're inviting people into, quietly. The industry takes note. Within weeks, producers and studios began citing The Quiet Season as proof that the post-pandemic audience still craves subtle, human stories. The film's modest box office success, buoyed by word of mouth and streaming, has sparked renewed interest in minimalist European cinema. More significant, however, is its cultural symbolism. Critics see it as a statement against celebrity fatigue, a reminder that meaningful art can emerge from retreat, not exposure. Jamie and Amelia turned withdrawal into creation, wrote Sight Sound. They transformed silence into narrative material. Inside their creative philosophy. Over several days of interviews in Dublin and County Down, the couple returned often to the idea of pace. The industry rewards speed, Jamie said, but art, like healing, takes slowness. He described his directing process as listening more than speaking. Amelia echoed that sentiment. Composing isn't about filling silence. It's about deciding which silences matter. Their shared philosophy seems almost radical in an era of constant content. Yet it's resonating with younger filmmakers who cite The Quiet Season as proof that sustainability and artistry can coexist. The influence of Ireland. Much of the film's power comes from its setting. Shot across the Antrim coast, it captures the austere beauty of the Irish landscape, grey skies, stone cottages, restless water. It's where our piece began, Jamie said. It felt right to give it a voice. Locals were deeply involved. Fishermen offered boats, neighbors brought soup to the set. Amelia recorded local choirs and blended their voices into the score. You can literally hear the community, she said. It's not background, it's belonging. The discipline of boundaries. For all the openness in their art, the couple remain fiercely protective of their private life. When I ask about their children, they smile but decline details. They're the reason we built these boundaries, Amelia said. Jamie added, I think the essay changed how people approached us. There's more respect now. We can share our work without surrendering ourselves. Their publicist later confirms that every press request includes a clause forbidding personal questions. It's not control, Jamie insists. It's care. Colleagues on their evolution. Actors who worked with Jamie notice a transformation. He directs like someone who has listened deeply, said lead actor Ciarán Hinds. No vanity, just attention. It's rare. Composer friends describe Amelia's recent music as fearless in its restraint. One producer likened her to Max Richter, but warmer. Their mutual respect radiates. It's refreshing, said editor Niamh Kerr. They treat creativity as dialogue, not competition. You feel safe bringing ideas. Beyond celebrity narratives. The public fascination with their marriage hasn't vanished, but it has matured. Instead of gossip, interviews now frame them as exemplars of creative balance. I used to resist that label, Jamie admitted. But maybe it's useful. If people see that a couple can survive fame by choosing quiet, that's a good story to tell. Amelia added, we didn't plan to become symbols. We just refused to keep bleeding for entertainment. The philosophy of slowness. As the conversation drifted toward the future, both spoke about slowness as an artistic ethic. Everything beautiful we've made, our kids, our home, this film, came from slowing down, Jamie said. Amelia nodded. I used to think productivity was proof of worth. Now I know presence is. Their next projects reflect that. Jamie is developing a limited series based on Irish folklore. Amelia will compose for a stage adaptation of The Quiet Season to premiere in London in 2028. It's the same story, told through different silences, she smiled. Redefining success. Has peace changed their definition of success? Jamie considered before answering. Success used to be volume, applause, coverage, money. Now it's continuity, being able to keep creating without breaking the things that make you human. Amelia put it more simply. Success is dinner at home. Their balance has influenced peers struggling with overexposure. When I'm tempted to overwork, said one director friend, I think of them, how they turned retreat into relevance. The lasting resonance of the quiet season. In its final scene, the quiet season ends with two figures walking away from the sea, hand in hand, no music, only the wind. It's a metaphor that needs no explanation. When asked if he sees it as a statement about their own life, Jamie smiled. Maybe subconsciously. We've walked through storms. But now, the sound of peace. That's the score Amelia wrote, and it's the one I want playing forever. Amelia looked at him quietly. Peace doesn't mean the end of stories, she said. It means we finally have time to tell them properly. Art as shelter. On my last evening in County Down, I watched them rehearse a small concert for local residents. Amelia at the piano, Jamie reading excerpts from his screenplay between songs. The room smelled of tea and wood smoke. Children whispered in the back row. No security, no spectacle. When the final chord faded, applause filled the hall, warm, human, enough. Outside, the wind carried the echo of Amelia's final words that night. Art isn't an escape from life. It's how we learn to stay in it. For the Dornan-Warner partnership, that seems to be the real renaissance, not the return to fame, but the quiet certainty that creation and peace can finally live in the same house.